Well, former President Jimmy Carter currently holds the record for the longest post-White House career of any former U.S. president. Despite partisan animosity that defined much of the 2016 presidential election, Carter is taking a conciliatory approach to the new Trump administration, seeking a positive relationship with the new occupants of the White House. VOA's Farabaugh has our report.
Donald Trump is the sixth commander-in-chief former President Jimmy Carter witnessed take office since returning to his hometown of Plains, Georgia, following Ronald Reagan's inauguration in 1981.
President Carter, President Clinton.
With Trump now in the White House amid historically low approval ratings, Carter recently told an audience during one of his weekly Sunday school lessons at Maranatha Baptist Church in Plains that the New York businessman wasn't his preferred candidate in the general election.
We have 22 voters in our family. None of our family voted for him.
While a number of former and current Democratic lawmakers skipped Trump's inauguration, Carter was not among them.
I was the only former president for a long time that said he was going, but I felt like we needed to get to know the new president. I think we need to give him support.
In an exclusive interview with Voice of America at the Carter Center in Atlanta, Carter explained his approach.
We want to be helpful to them when they get in office. So we hope that this relationship of supporting President Trump and his new administration will be both beneficial to them and also to help when they think it's appropriate us to reach our goals in those particular areas of the world.
President Carter, who has a relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin, says one way he can help the Trump administration is by sharing information gathered through various Carter Center programs.
We're preparing a brief memorandum from me to the new Secretary of State and new Secretary of Defense, for instance, on our mapping program inside Syria and what we have learned from President Putin and that sort of thing.
As president, Carter mediated the Camp David talks in 1978, resulting in the first permanent peace agreement between Israel and Egypt. The former president says he hopes Trump will focus on peace between Israel and the Palestinians.
We've had a full-time office in Jerusalem and in Ramallah in the West Bank, and also in Gaza now for 35 years. And we have a lot of inside information of what's going on inside the boundary of what we call the Holy Land. And I want to share that information with them.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear that I...
When Carter was elected in 1976, the country was still reeling from the Watergate scandal. That year, he rode a wave of populist anger into the White House, in much the same way as Donald Trump in 2016. While Carter might not have voted for Trump, he is one of the few men alive today who understand the demands of the office of the presidency.
He needs understanding. He never has been involved in politics before, so he has a lot to learn. He'll learn sometimes the hard way like I did, sometimes a more easy way. But
a hostage crisis in Iran, rising inflation, and petroleum shortages were some of the factors that led to Carter's 1980 election loss to Ronald Reagan, making him one of two presidents in the last 40 years who served only one term. Kane, Farabaugh, VOA News, Atlanta, Georgia.